This idea of making your own world, coming up with your own setting, and introducing the readers to something so alien while resonating with them in a way that is so relatable is, I think, what attracts me.
20-year-old cancer survivor Lachlan Seipel has always been drawn to the worlds of sci-fi and fantasy.
Always loved dystopias especially. I think that Asimov is definitely a huge influence on me. I've always loved the idea of his 3 laws of robotics.
And while those worlds have provided a rich source of inspiration, it's not robots he's chosen to write about in his first book.
The Angels Under the Earth. And it's about guardian angels who essentially lose the children they're meant to be protecting. It's not necessarily a true Christian guardian angel. They're meant to be lost souls, people who were stuck between life and death.
Lachlan has had his own near-death experience as a teenager after being diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer when he was 17.
And they went, well, a lesion means that you have cancer. And I said, yeah, what are we going to do about it? I had a very pragmatic mindset, but I went into ICU 3 times. And across those 3 times, I had to relearn to walk at least 2 out of the 3. You had to really push yourself to your limit and push through a lot of pain.
During a year of chemotherapy, his mind turned to his writing and his goal of becoming a published author. Just one of the things he says was on his bucket list.
It gave me some hope for my future aspiration. It also gave me a kind of means of escapism, I guess, from the boredom of lying in a hospital bed for days on end. What would you like to symbolise your character?
By his side throughout the ordeal was his mum, Kylie Bullivant, who's overjoyed to see her son's dream of becoming a published author come to fruition, thanks to the Starlight Children's Foundation.
So you leap at the banshee and pass right.
This, really traumatic experience that he went through has been transformed. I think he was about 4 years old when he first told me that he was going to become a writer. I think after he found out that the author of Mr. Men had died and wasn't going to be writing any more books, he was completely outraged, and he said, well, why isn't somebody doing something about it? I'll become a writer.
Lachlan is now in remission, but he still has a titanium prosthetic rod inserted into his arm after the doctors removed his bones.
It's meant to lock in place at 90 degrees. That, for some reason, does not apply to my arm. The doctors aren't exactly sure why.
Do you consider yourself part man, part machine?
I mean, we've made the joke before that I am a cyborg zombie. Back from the dead.
On the day of Lachlan's book launch, he and his family received the rockstar treatment, taking a Hummer from Sydney's northwest and across the Harbour Bridge to a sci-fi bookshop in the city.
Books are very hard to write. As someone who didn't write their first till the age of 36, seeing someone write one at a very young age is extremely irritating.
We hereby launch this book. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I am really proud of Lachlan, and I also very emotional after watching Lachlan in intensive care or hooked up and seeing him today. It was just really good.
This guy can write, it's everything about it. I was so impressed. I was really impressed. I think he's got a bit of a future ahead of him, actually.
Hearing him talk about his journey and what it was like going through chemotherapy and surgery, there's sort of fortitude, positivity, resilience it takes to go through something like that and then write a book at the same time, I think is pretty extraordinary.
Angels Under the Earth has a small print run of 200, but Lachlan already has big plans for a possible sequel.
Writing gives me a sense of legacy almost. So let's say I were to die tomorrow, right? I would no longer be able to speak to you, but writing and reading is almost a form of time travel. you're able to look into the thoughts of another person who has long since passed.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.